A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
Well, for the past 15 years, the organisation Collective Shout has compiled a crossed off list. It's a blacklist of companies which have objectified women and sexualised girls to sell products and services during the year. Well, this year there are some major online sales platforms and there are some repeat corporate offenders. Melinda Tankard-Reist is the Movement Director for Collective Shout. She's back with us. Hey, Melinda, welcome back to 2020.
Always good to be with you, Neil. Thank you.
Melinda, your aim here to help people be discerning as to how they spend their Christmas budget on gifts. It's not something about some retaliation or revenge or just, some sort of malicious way of attacking businesses. This is about helping people be discerning, isn't it?
Exactly right, Neil. We know that our supporters want to spend their money ethically. They don't want to be propping up sexual exploitation of women and girls. They don't want to reward companies who objectify women and sexualise girls to make products. So we urge our supporters not to fill their shopping bags with sexploitation this year, and that's why we produce our annual blacklist of repeat company offenders to avoid this Christmas. As you say, it's our 15th blacklist to help guide our supporters in their shopping choices at this time of year.
Well, there are people who do think ethically and they will make decisions about how they spend their money. And in some sense here, responding when you've got a blacklist of organisations that exploit women and girls, a good way to make a protest if you don't shop there, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, if these companies don't understand ethics, if they don't understand corporate social responsibility, if they don't want to protect vulnerable children and the community, then they deserve to be on this list. And that's why we have compiled the list. The lineup this year includes Melbourne-based T-shirt company T Public, which is owned by a parent company, Articore. This company trades in violence against women. Some of the images that they host on their website are amongst the most degraded and violent I've ever seen, probably too violent for me to even describe on your show. But they even include degrading depictions of nuns, religious women in habits, in poses that I can't describe. We have a number of e-commerce giants, Shein for sexualizing children in products and advertising. We have Etsy for incest-themed merchandise. We also have the company Honey Birdette, which will be well known to anyone that listens to your show because I've been mentioning it for 15 years. Honey Birdette is owned by Playboy. It has breached the advertising code of ethics now 80 times, but it makes no difference because there's no fines or penalties for non-compliance. It's in our family shopping malls. Our families are having to see the degraded, pornified depictions of women all over their shop windows. So obviously avoid Honey Birdette. We've got a new addition this year. We're about to update our list, and that is with a company called Calendar Club. It's a retail pop-up that is in shopping malls right now. I saw it in my local Westfield just yesterday. And it has a whole range of calendars that include so-called erotic lingerie. It includes a farmer's daughter pinups depicting farmer's daughters who aren't really farmer's daughters, I'm sure of it, being one myself, in very pornified, sexualised poses out on the farm. So we are encouraging our supporters not to purchase calendars from this company, and we are leading a protest against Calendar Club in our family shopping malls as we speak.
You know, so many of us will have walked past some of those shop fronts that have these, sometimes confronting displays. Is it just the shops, or is it the shopping centres that you are that are in your sites too, so far as making people aware that there are all sorts of brands that are contravening some common sense ethical morality here? Is it shopping centres as well?
All the above, because the shopping centres are the landlords, right? They are hosting these companies. They are allowing them to operate this way. They are facilitating highly pornified, sexualised, objectified depictions of women, floor to ceiling. And the shopping centres make a profit. They make money from allowing the objectification of women. And all of the global research says that these depictions of women are harmful. They lead to a lesser view of women's competence, morality and humanity. We have a significant problem with harmful sexual behaviours, sexual harassment in our schools. A sexist culture grooms boys to behave in these ways. A new report that just came out yesterday says that the majority of teenagers in this country are sexually harassed, and a lot of that harassment is in schools, as we at Collective Shout have shown in a report published recently with Maggie Dent on the sexual harassment of female teachers and female students. But it's the broader culture that educates them, that grooms them to behave in these harmful ways, and that's why we call on the CEOs of our family shopping centres all around the country not to host the sexually degrading, sexually exploitative depictions of women.
So you've got the bricks and mortar shop fronts, but then you go online. And I know you've had some big wins online with some of the major international retailers, but some of those are the bigger offenders, aren't they?
Well, look, we'll take on any offender. We will name them. We will call them out. Yes, we have had victories against trillion-dollar corporations. We have had victories against smaller companies too. You know, it all occurs on a continuum, whether it's online or a bricks and mortar shop. It all contributes to the idea that women are just objects to be used, to be enjoyed for their bodies, to be not treated very well. And that's why we're trying to stop that and have been for 15 years. If I can give you some good news, Neil, because heaven knows we need it. Mm-hmm. We have just announced our 31st victory this year. Now, in the history of me being on your show, this is our biggest win ever. Last year was our record 23. We have now surpassed that with 31 victories against companies that engage in these behaviours. And so we are celebrating that as well as encouraging people to cross off the bad ones that need to be forced to change. If they don't understand ethics, they might understand when they start losing money.
There's no doubt you're getting very good at making your point with these companies. Hey, while we're talking about a blacklist, in other words, those companies that might be overstepping the mark here, but you've also got some good businesses, good ethical businesses that promote a socially responsible ethic, and you want to promote those, don't you?
Look, we certainly do, Neil. We're not just about naming and shaming the companies who are engaging in harmful business practices. We also have a growing number of businesses taking a stand for women and girls, signing our corporate social responsibility pledge not to objectify women and sexualise girls in their products and services. We've got Clonakilla Winery here in Canberra. We've got web design companies. We've got a fitness company. We've got Power Shop, Body Matters Australasia. We've got Heartburst, other creative companies, a whole range of brands there, artists and others that jewellery companies, for example, creative agencies, food and wine companies. So we encourage anyone to have a look at our alternative list of companies that you can spend with ethically. And anytime you do that, you know, it's sending a signal to the other companies that they should change, that consumers want to know where their money's going, what they're supporting, what they're propping up. And there's a big push now for ethical spending, and we're part of that.
There's that long-held understanding, an adage that says sex sells. And you're pushing back and you're saying sexploitation doesn't sell. Clearly, it's in the mind of people who do marketing for some of these companies that sex sells is still a thing. It's a long, big battle, but you're actually making some leeway here. You're actually having some good successes, Melinda.
Yes, well, no company should profit from sexploitation, you know, and it's not even really about sex. It's the way that women are represented and depicted just as objects for use. And look, we think we punch above our weight, Neil. You know, we're very small. We're a very small team, but we're running campaigns in Australia and globally. We're running some very big global campaigns, particularly against AI-enabled abuse of women, so-called deep fake news. which, Australian schoolgirls are having their images turned into deepfake nudes with using apps. There's 127 nudifying and undressing apps which will undress and nudify any woman and any girl. Australian schoolgirls have had their images taken from Facebook and made into porn. And so we're running a global campaign against those things. And look, as I said, we do a punch above our weight, but we depend on supporters. We depend on our supporter base. We've got thousands of people involved now, and we'd love even more, Neil. So if people want to get involved, collectiveshout.org is our website. It's free to sign up, and we're on all the socials as well.
So you can find the blacklist on the website at collectiveshout.org. There's also a list of those companies that are on the positive list. And is there a way on your website that people can sign up and say, hey, I'm going to join you, I'm going to be on the team, I'm going to be on the right side of how we market to people? Is there a way that people can get involved in that?
Absolutely. They just need to go into our website and sign up, and then they'll be on our mailing list. They'll know the campaigns that are going on in their area, how to get involved, how to volunteer, how to donate. So yes, the more the merrier, we'll say at this time of year, Neil. And we would love as much support as we can get.
Well, there is a crossed-off list. There is a blacklist of companies which have objectified women and sexualised girls to sell products and services through the year, and you can find the full list on the website at collectiveshout.org, and there might be all sorts of things that you'll be interested in to get alongside. As Melinda says, a small movement, but it is a movement and it's having great successes nonetheless. And Melinda is the movement director for Collective Shout, collectiveshout.org. Melinda, thanks so much for another update today on 2020.
Always a pleasure, Neil. Thanks for your support.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.